hello again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. Thank you for liking and subscribing on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. So I'm back again with another video uh, which is personal. So I'm not comfortable with opening up. I'm not comfortable with sharing more of my experience, but I feel like, why should I not share this? Because when you're supposed to share something with others, there's always gonna be a sign. You're always gonna probably pop something pop up, or something recommended for you, or maybe someone, if you're like someone like me who into those Facebook confession that people do anonymously, and then they end up talking about their problems, their stuff and everything. So they kept on popping up, and I was like, you know what, it's a sign to make this video. So if my content is for you, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share my content. So okay, this video is more like, as I said, it's personally, and I'm not sure that I'm actually okay, but I'm gonna try as much to share, because oh gosh, this is so hard. So yay. So okay, today's video, it's about sex with a narcissist. So sex with narcissist. So first I'm gonna define the word, oh gosh, the word narcissist. So in my own perspective, of course, I've did bother myself with understanding the word narcissist, because I ended up dating someone and ended up being pushed to understand what exactly was I dealing with, their behavior. End up googling it, and I came across the word narcissist. I was like, what the fuck? Because it described exactly the person that I was actually with at that time. So yeah. So as I said, firstly I'm gonna define the word narcissist, because I feel like it's gonna make a lot of sense in a way. So the word narcissist, it's whereby a person who's regarding as someone who's very important. Yes, we're all important, but for them, they are very important to the point that anyone doesn't matter. Anyone, they're just another subject, another object that they can use, or that they can mimic. Because they sometimes study people's behavior, portray people's behavior, they mimic, they act like normally people, but they're okay. Well, not all normal, but they try to manipulate. It's manipulative the way they do things. They are very manipulative. So when it's come to their behavior, they mimic the good people skills, the good people behavior. They mimic a lot of things that is actually of like, oh my god, you will think that they are most kindest people that we ever met. They are most, like, they always get along with everyone. It's okay to get along with everyone, but for them, with everyone, like everyone, because at the end of the day, we're not compatible. We're not for everyone. We For me, I know that I'm not for everyone. My energy is not for everyone. My personality is not for everyone, and I'm not expecting such behavior from others, because sometimes you meet some people who are like, you know what, I don't like their energy, and then you remove yourself. For them, they have to get along with everyone. They always chasing whatever, chasing fame, chasing people who are in the spotlight, chasing people who have certain abilities, people who are considered, like, they're always chasing people who are actually, for example, like Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is always chasing popularity. Kim Kardashian is always chasing the new trend. Kim Kardashian is always chasing whoever that is actually popping at that time. Because I remember, I forgot the name of the woman who is the actually songwriter as well as singer, Olive. Her name is Olive. what's the name of the song? Driver's License. You know, she was chasing that fame. Someone who's like that, she's constantly thinks she's a very important person who always disregard other people's emotion as unimportant, but for them it's important. They always turn up everything. It's always about them. It's not always about anyone. When they have to take responsibility, they always change something to be about them. They always change something like they try, they fake some illness if they have to take responsibility. They fake any scenario. They lie about a lot of things. They're manipulative. They lie. They're so sick. Like they're sick. They're mentally sick. So I'm still defining the narcissistic. They always think everything is about them. They're very self-centered. They always gaslight you. They always guilty trip you into doing whatever that whatever that you want you to do. Your needs are not important. They always trying to stop you from doing anything that is progressive to you, but at the same time they won't put effort in trying to make you in trying or making you to do something that is actually good for you. They don't want to see you improve. You're just another competition to them. You're not just, they don't see you as a partner. They see you as a fucking competition, which is weird, because how can you just propose to someone that you care about them, propose to someone acting like you are a fine person? I'm telling you, they're most if you meet them for the first time, you will think, oh wow, he's so kind, or she's so kind. You end up assuming that they're the most kindest people that you ever met, and you will say like, oh my god, he or she is so kind. You always use those kind of words. They always love bombing you. They love bombing. Like in the beginning of the relationship, they're too perfect. Like too perfect. Like too perfect. Like, yo, I don't know how they do it, but they do it. The only time is when you already dealt with them, or maybe you came across from a narcissistic family, and then you end up like, oh my god, this is a bit. They always have, and most of them they know that they are narcissistic because they've been told that they are narcissistic. So they always look for women who are actually not aware of the word narcissistic, or they're not empowered to be on their power. So they always, their target is always the women who are not aware of their potential, who are not empowered to be in their power, who are not in their empress energy. So they always target those kind of women. So when you are not empowered, when you are not in your energy, when you are not having self-esteem issues, probably you were not encouraged to love yourself. You're not being taught to love self-love growing up, and then obviously you're going to be their target. They always search for those kind of women. They always search for the most empathic man or woman, or woman or men who are actually givers, women or men who are the most giving, who are most generous in the room, who are always have success in their life. They can, I don't know how they do it, but they always can tell when someone is successful, has the potential to be so, because they don't want you to see you successful, but at the same time they know outside you look good for them. You are the best object for them. You will make them look good. You make them because they always go for women who's not aware of their potential, so they're more weaker than the other women who are aware of their potential. So narcissists are different. Some are okay, all of them are emotional abusive, verbally, spiritual abusive, mentally. Some of them are physical abusive, but not all of them are physical abuse, because my ex was not physical abusive, while my father was physical abusive, while I can say he still is. So you know, they always want people who are actually like that. They always want women who are not empowered, who are not aware of who they are. They always pray for women. And you know what funny? Okay, it's raining outside. They what's this point? Okay, they sometimes do research about you. They do research about you. They bother about doing research about their new target. They don't just target anyone, because even if they come toward you for the first time. Probably to you it's the first time, to them it's not the first time. They've seen you, they see how you move, they see that you are not a social. They always pray for people who are not social. So I would say most of the introvert, they are best target, because introverts are self-sufficient most of the time. They're always in their space, they're always okay with less company, and they're always giving, they're always showing compassion, they always, so I happen to be the target. So I'm gonna explain the relationship with them. So I think I've covered the definition of a narcissistic. Okay, there's a difference. Okay, there's a difference between narcissist and person who has a narcissistic disorder and a person who has narcissistic tendency. But a narcissistic, someone who's a narcissistic disorder, they do have narcissistic tendency, because they are narcissistic. Some people who are a narcissistic, who have a narcissistic tendency, it's whereby some of them are able to move away from their toxic. For example, someone who's a famous, who had narcissistic tendency. It's Mila Kuni, Ashley Mila Kuni. Is it Mila Kuni? I forgot her name, but her husband, Ashton, who was married to Demi Moore. Yes, he, like, when he explained himself before Mila, he explained himself, and I've like, oh my god, he was so narcissistic. Like, he had a lot of narcissistic tendency, but at the same time, I won't consider him as a narcissist, because he's someone who do introspection, who is aware of their inner world, who find, right now he's a person, someone who find inner strength from within, because narcissists don't do that. They don't introspect, they don't reflect on themselves, they don't change. They can change, like, make a lot of money, look good, go to gym, they can change a lot, but their inner world will never change. They don't have any spiritual growth, they don't have any emotional growth, because what they do, the only time they have something look like emotional growth is when they observe other people's behavior, because they mimic, they try to act like someone else. They, all those qualities that they see on someone, probably someone that is being admired, they're always trying to portray those. They always fake, they always act like they act like they have things which they don't. Probably they lie about their achievement, accomplishment, of like, oh, I have this, I have that. And I don't know, some of them, they even fake the fucking certificate. Like, wow, they go to that extent. So okay, so I'm explaining the sex with a narcissist. Sex with narcissist is, it's a whereby a sex with someone. Okay, sex with narcissist is never mutual. It's never mutual. It's about control. Sex with them, it's about control. It's about fucking control. It's not about you experiencing climax. It's about them experiencing climax. It's not about you. It's not about, it doesn't matter how much you complain, how you feel dry, they don't care. It's about them. Whenever, for example, for me, I was a virgin when I met that narcissistic man, and I was not empowered, so I didn't know who I am. I was exploring who I am, but at the same time, I was aware that I'm young and I still don't know anything. I was 19 years, so I didn't know much about myself. I didn't know anything. So I was not, and I grew up in a very toxic home. And growing up in a toxic home, as much as I was aware that it doesn't feel right, but a lot of things I was not aware, I had no wisdom of. So I was just came to varsity, and then here I was meeting this narcissistic man. And then at that time, okay, I didn't know anything but sexually. I was not even interested. I was just someone who's care about making money, making progress, going to school, and all that. So at that time, I was like, oh, okay. So what happened is, when I was, the first time, it was painful. Okay, it's painful because it's the first time, but it was extremely painful. And I remember saying this to one of the girls who actually experienced her breaking her virginity, and she was like, what? were you slaughtering a cow then? Like at that time, I've never realized it's a red flag. and and the way she was saying, like, were you slaughtering a cow, was he slaughtering a cow? Because they don't care how you feel, they don't care about your own feelings. The only time they don't like, they don't give a fuck. Like, it's only about them. Sometimes, yeah, sex with them, it feels like a rape. It's a lot of manipulation, it's a lot of control. It's about them controlling you. It's about, so as I'm saying that, what, because I was not empowered, I was not even a sexually liberated woman. So me experiencing all those kind of things, me not knowing much, I was, I happened to be the best target. I happened to be the, because I wasn't even antisocial. I was never like someone who's social because of my anxiety. I was suffering from so extremely social anxiety. So socializing was never something that is I find comfort in. Instead, I feel like I need to disconnect. I need to stay away from it. So having sex with a narcissist, it's about control. It's not about any other way around. It's never mutual. It will never, there's only time when it's mutual is when you're pulling away. Probably you end up, you know what, I'm leaving, like I'm leaving. they they will make it like, you will think like they chain for that specific time. Like, they chain for that specific time in order for you to manipulate, in order for you to let your guide down, in order, when you let your guide down, and then, like, they can tell that you, okay, now your energy is they have control over you, you know. Now they can start making you me feeling miserable. What the fuck? Miserable. So their aim is making you to suffer. Their aim is to make you miserable. Their aim is to make you feel less of a woman. Their aim is to, if you are a woman, but even if you are a man, because I've realized there are also a lot of men who experience this kind of sexually trauma. Even though you're not aware it's a sexual trauma, you're being deprived of experiencing emotional sex. You are being deprived of expressing yourself, because at that time, as I said, I was a virgin. I didn't know much, but I know that I want to explore other things. And you see, he was like, how do you know all of that? Like, what do you mean, how do I, like, who are you sleeping with? There, you were sleeping with someone else, you know, those kind of questions. Be like, huh? Like, you were not allowed to, you were just, I don't know, they want you to be a potato, but for the same time they don't want you to be a potato. When you are trying, like, for example, it always make you feel like shit. Like, for example, when you are trying to explore a new thing, probably you just wanna, you have Google now, we need to know what is this, because you wanna be, you know, show your skills, you know. So when you are in that phase of trying to explore, probably you think it's gonna get better, you know, because it's painful, it's not nice. Like, the whole experience with sex with minors was always painful, like, always painful. I'm not saying all people who actually having a painful sex is because some of them is just because he's not the one. Like, there's no sexual compatibility. Yes, there was no sexual compatibility, but at the same time I knew that he was controlling me, you know. He was depriving me. He wanted me to feel like shit, because he knew that I've never experienced anything, but I knew that sex is not a sex that I want, because I was concerned about improving. I was concerned about improving. I was concerned about pleasing. I was like a lot of my concern was all about pleasing him, because that's what he trained me to be. He was training me to be someone who is, who always, okay, as I said, you always serve them. He was training me to serve him, not the other way around. He was training me to be someone who, you know, gonna make all this thing about him. He made me feel like shit. He made me feel like, oh gosh, like, every time he would say, did you sleep with someone? You know, I've never understand why I'm always accused of such a thing. So it was always, they don't like you relax. They don't like, you know, I've never understand why this person was like that. But Chige, narcissistic and narcissistic, you can't make them be a better person. They're awful. Most of them, they're okay. Like, yes, most of them are awful, but all their awfulness is different. So a sex with a narcissist is like, the reason why I made this video, I've realized something that like, it's more personal, as I've said, because